You guys are f***ing insane, is basically what I say whenever I see one of you guys' builds. I have a Discord server. In this Discord server, I run these themed monthly build challenges, and basically every time I run one of these, I am just absolutely blown away by the sheer amount of talent and skill in my community. Like seriously, you guys are off the wall insane. I cannot say enough about it. But I've also been learning a lot from them as well. Advanced building techniques, build philosophies, texturing, and block palette ideas that I never would have thought of. And in this video, you're gonna be seeing 7 of my favorite builds from my Discord server in recent months. And most importantly, we're gonna be discussing what I've learned from these amazing creations. This build is by Adrian, and if the insane waterfall behind me is any indication of just how incredible this build is, yeah, you guys are in for a treat. The detail, the colors, the texturing, the giant pile of Leon heads, like, now there's a lot to take in, right? We've got a nice little street here by the water, varying builds of different shapes and sizes and colors and whatnot, but the core takeaway is actually right here, the roofs. Roofs are often a really tough thing to do in Minecraft. Like, a lot of people struggle with them, and that's totally valid. Like, I do too. Each one of these roofs is a completely different design from the others, and they all look so good. Like, we've got this vaulted roof on top of this large sandstone tower right here, couple smokestacks coming out of it. By the way, the smoke looks incredible too. This second roof is very, very flat with a large balcony, and of course you've got like some overhangs and stuff down here, but it has a very unique shape as well. You've got this kind of funny little bit poking out here. This third roof is a very standard kind of 45-degree angle roof. Plenty of detail between the frog spawn, the dead coral, the dead bushes. Like, this is maybe a little bit more dilapidated, a little bit more dirty, but it's a very standard roof design, still looking great, of course. This fourth roof once again has a very wacky and whimsical shape with this woo thing in the middle here, and of course the brick and sandstone combo is lovely. This fifth roof is very interesting because not only is it very steep, right? You've got this steep slope up, but it also curves ever so slightly in that direction. You can see every like 5 or 6 or 7 blocks it moves. And last but not least, this comparatively little guy over here, it's kind of just a standard roof design, but down here you've got this very interesting like tattered tarp. This crazy thing with the illegal carpets and the banners and the glow berries hanging down. And not only did Adrian make an incredibly large build, but just the details. It's still full of detail despite being huge. Like, this kind of stylized, almost like cartoony cell-shaded water is very pretty. You've got all these copies of me in armor stand form, like doing wacky stuff like jumping out of burning hot air balloons or casting a few lines over here, having a grand old time. So all in all, Adrian, you've done an absolutely phenomenal job with this project, but I did really want to highlight your roof designs because, you know, roofs are often overlooked. A lot of people struggle with them, like I was saying, but you, my friend, you've done them so well. Y'all are not ready for this one. So the theme for this build and its corresponding monthly build challenge was UHC Generations, a series that I'm sure many of you know quite well by now. And what I'm about to show you, this massive build by Ember7, who, by the way, makes some gargantuan projects, genuinely just captured so much about what makes this series incredible. I was so blown away when I saw this for the first time. Let me show you around. As you can see, this is a massive custom tree floating in the void. It's like Yggdrasil, or however you say the big world tree from Norse mythology, connecting all the different worlds. But instead on top here, you've got all these different kind of miniaturized locations from the series. You've got Founders Town and the Bell Tower, the Fields of Regen and the Bee House represented by a giant bee, Industry Park, Josh's museum, a couple of my infrastructure projects, and many more empty branches still yet to be filled by future history. I think what was the most compelling and what was the most inspiring about this project is the incredibly creative manifestation of weird concepts, right? Like, this tree doesn't exist in the series. This tree isn't like a real thing. It's a representation of the threads of story and legacy and history that pervades the entire UHC Generation series, and I just think that is so incredibly cool, incredibly thoughtful, incredibly well done. I know we just took a look at these builds, but like the way they are miniaturized and shrunk down and represented in creative ways is just so cool. Like, you got these giant flowers, you got these small buildings, and of course the rest of the build just looks great too. You got these cool island fragments around the roots of the tree like it's bursting out from some sort of enclosure or something, looking awesome. On the inside of the trunk, you've got this very, very impressive library. Ho ho ho, look at that. Not only is it huge and every single floor is just covered in bookshelves, it represents something. It represents the history of the series, both past, present, and future, and just the sheer amount of stories, adventures, tales that are yet to be told. In this library, there are 4 books out of hundreds of thousands probably of available spaces, and I just think that's really cool. It's really meaningful. I was too lazy to go into spectator mode, sorry about that. Ember7, you're an amazing builder. You know you're an amazing builder, but what you did with this project just struck a chord with me and the fellow NBC judges, and I just want you to know that. I really think we should all aspire to be as creative as they were with their representations and manifestations of these weird concepts. This next build was put together by Netum, a buddy of mine and fellow creator, this dude right here. And for this monthly build challenge, which had the theme of Statue Garden, Netum put together one of the most intricate and detail-focused builds I have ever seen in like my entire life. And as we're walking around here, I'm sure you've already noticed a few of the incredible details that he's put into this project, right? Like all these items on invisible item frames, on banners, on the ground. My dude is like simulating wind physics with item frames and barrier blocks, and it genuinely blew my mind when I saw this. Like, what? Like, who does this? How did you think of this? These gorgeous apples, or they're kind of large for apples. Maybe they're tomatoes. These are custom heads, which I don't see a lot of people using for builds. And I'm sure you guys would agree with me completely there. Oh, and by the way, this whole thing is only like, I think 50 by 50 was the build limit. Like, they did not have very much space to work with for this challenge. And Netum made good use of every single square inch. The statues themselves are quite cool. You've got like this fountain with this dude on top. You got this fellow over here looking mighty handsome, if I do say so myself. I was so incredibly impressed when I saw this project. So I'm gonna be saying that a lot, by the way. You better not get tired of that. But seriously, guys, this community is so talented. Netum, you're so talented. And I'm just incredibly impressed with what you've been able to accomplish. Now, this next submission was by J Draws. This was just kind of posted separately in my Discord server, but I was such a big fan of the concept and the execution that I just had to include this in the video. Fellas, say hello to Dino World. Look at these little guys. Hold on, let me get rid of those real quick. Each one of these guys has their name written out. Allosaurus, Megalania, Cryolophosaurus. Yeah? What I want to highlight with this project, like, yes, the dinosaurs are cute, they're cool, they're awesome, they're adorable, but the building takeaway I got from all this is, like, you can do a lot with small organics. I genuinely did not think it was possible to build creatures with this much detail on this scale, right? Like, everybody's seen the giant, massive dragon builds that are, like, axiomed and, you know, take a million years to, like, render in and stuff, and they're all really, really cool. Ooh, Triceratops. That's my favorite dinosaur. Hell yeah. But what you don't see a lot of is organics, especially animals, on a more player scale. And obviously these are not really player scale, but you know, they're dinosaurs. They're gonna be big. The block choices, the eyes, item frames, the shape, right? Like he is using trapdoors, stairs, slabs. And you know what? On top of all of this, I don't think they've used any illegal building techniques. I've been flying around, I've been looking at all these guys, I've been trying for the best of my ability to look for any sort of, you know, illegal block states or things that don't really look like they should, but these are all legit builds. These are all possible in survival. Jay's created something incredibly unique here in the Minecraft building community, and I really wanted to shine the spotlight on these amazing dinos that frankly have continually impressed me from the moment I saw them in my Discord server. This next one's gonna blow your mind. This build is by Satan2 as part of the Space Battle Monthly Build Challenge, and yes, we're inside an interior, we're inside a dining room. And this is a very nice dining room, don't get me wrong, but you might be wondering just how exactly this won the Monthly Build Challenge. I mean, it's not a space. What about if we walk over into this control room? What if we fly out into this massive expanse of light, asteroids, and ships? And what if we fly all the way out to this incredibly textured planet in the distance, turn around and feel our jaws hit the floor as we just admire this incredible creation? So from what I've gathered from this submission, this was titled Time Battle, and there's some lore and stuff behind the submission, which is awesome by the way, but for the building aspects, we've got this crazy looking force field around this ship, we've got these very, very nicely done asteroids, very nicely textured, we've got a couple ships that have seen better days, this freaky looking alien creation over here with this amazingly constructed laser shooting its way into the ship over here, but most importantly of all, you guys have probably already spied it out of the corner of your eyes. We have down here the most incredible glass and light and end rod creation I have ever seen. This tree or cosmic filament or whatever it is, how did you build this? Genuinely, it's like being in the lighting section in an IKEA. Like, what? Even with Axiom, even with World Edit, I don't understand how you make something like this without taking like 30 gazillion years. Hopefully y'all can see now why this guy won the monthly build challenge, because oh my god. Like I could sit and stare at this project all day. Satan2, you're amazing. And to all the viewers, I do hope you've been sufficiently inspired by this incredible creation. This next build is by Trill, and once again, not part of any monthly build challenges, just something I saw and really liked. Welcome to Steel Point Rig. Now, right off the bat, we can clearly see that this is just an awesome build. Like, the shading on the support pillars, the very nicely done, like, sea monster tentacles with their shading, the dark to light gradient and everything, all of the detail and very, very particular texturing on the upper half of the oil rig. But what really inspired me about this project, on top of everything else, which is of course already very inspirational, is actually not something we can see right now. It's actually on the inside. Now, when you think of oil rigs, you probably aren't thinking about, you know, cozy interiors and whatnot, but what Trill has done here is he's given every square inch of the interior of this oil rig a purpose, or at least most of it, but considering how some people are with interiors, I'd say he's doing a pretty dang good job. I mean, check out this like storage area, right? We got this catwalk, you got these barrels, you got these large containers of some kind. We can take a ladder up into the living quarters, got this very nice kind of locker room station here, a neat little anvil and hopper staircase. I'm definitely stealing that design. Almost every spot in this interior has a real purpose and they're all interconnected with each other, which I just think is so so cool. Is it, lore accurate to the experience of being a worker or an employee on an oil rig? Probably not. I mean, I personally haven't, but I would imagine that it's maybe not quite that nice. But Trill has clearly thought through, like, what people on an oil rig would be doing, what machinery they'd be operating, like this forklift, which, by the way, awesome forklift design. I wonder if this guy is forklift certified, am I right? The more you look at this little build, the more little details just pop out. And I just can't get enough of these interiors, like, actually so cool. And last but definitely not least, we've got a custom fruit tree by Common. They put together this really, really lovely banana tree, and while yes, it was not the largest build submitted in that monthly build challenge, something about it just really, really stuck out to me. Maybe it's the immaculate texture usage, blending the oak wood, the tuff, the cobblestone, and the coral for this awesome and very well-shaped tree trunk. Maybe it's the custom bananas that are really, really cute with the little black stone buttons and even the smaller little banana bits down below. Maybe it's how he immaculately placed these leaves, not only incorporating a dark to light gradient, but also just leaving so many air gaps between all the different branches that it all just feels so bushy and buoyant. Or maybe it's a combination of all three. Who knows? We had some absolutely enormous custom fruit trees in that monthly build challenge, and as always, we had plenty of incredible builds, but something about all of this skill, all of this creative expression just kind of wrapped up in one, frankly, moderately sized package, kind of just did something for me. I don't know. I mean, this island is nice too, of course, with this kind of little round bowling ball kind of vibes, but I really think anybody that's even remotely into custom trees could really learn a lot by sitting down, just staring at this tree for a while and just taking notes on just exactly what makes it so great. And if this custom tree isn't your, cup of tea, that's totally fine. There's plenty of other amazing ones out there, but to me, this is a darn good custom tree. And with that, you guys, I think that's going to be it for today. I really do hope you enjoyed these builds, because I certainly have had a blast going through these and just admiring how incredible they are. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like down below, and if you're not subscribed, consider doing that as well. And until next time, guys, this has been Leon, and I'll see you all in the next Minecraft video.